This tastes good.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry, Mowers and Blowers. A nice, beautiful fall day today. It's like 65, gonna be like 67. Really good day to be outdoors working. So today I'm gonna tackle my 31cc Ryobi Rototiller Cultivator. This is the first rototiller I've ever had. I don't even know how to work it. I don't even know what you do with it. I guess it's because if somebody wants to plant a garden and you want to loosen up all the soil, you use one of these things to loosen up the soil. You know, dig a trench, if you will. I guess that's what it's for. As you can see from this thing over here, got tons of roots and twine and string and whatever all caught up inside there, you know? So that needs to be cleared up for sure. What I was looking at this thing over here, right? This is the gas tank, gas cap, and what's interesting is the primer bulb is separate, right? It's one of those primer bulbs where two tubes go into it. Push the primer bulb, pushes air into the area, and you have a return line that goes back into the gas tank, one line that has the fuel filter integrated into the tank. I'll show it to you in a second. So it doesn't have any fuel lines. I see remnants of it stuck on here, but it's like brittle, almost plastic and hard. So if it's just lines, I just ordered these like a few weeks ago. Bundle of 4 different size fuel lines, 10 fuel filters, $5. I got it from China off of eBay. It took about 3 weeks to get here, but I just ordered them because, you know, I'll need them in the future. I didn't need them then, but you order them, you don't have to wait for it because you don't need it, you know. And if it comes in the mail, you're like, oh yeah, this is that thing that I bought for $5. I could really use these someday. Sure enough, you need it, you know. So definitely worth $5, you know. 4 different sizes. I want to tell you guys an interesting story. I was sitting in my living room just watching TV, and I get a text message from my buddy Nick from Medford. As you guys know, Nick from Medford has given me like 5 or 6 tractors without engines and a lot of carburetor parts and parts here and there, you know. He's a good guy. He's been in my videos maybe 4 or 5 times. What's really interesting is that when he texted me, he wanted to FaceTime. So we FaceTimed together, and I said, what's up? And he has Bob and Larry over there at his house. It's so funny, man. It's definitely a small world when it comes to small engine guys. You know, we all end up knowing each other over here, you know. The story is Bob and Larry needed the grass catcher bins for a particular tractor. And I guess they looked online and they found Nick from Medford had, you know, bins for the grass catcher, the bagger. And so I guess they met, and he says, hey, I'm Larry. I'm Bob. And Nick goes, you're not the Larry and Bob from Mowers and Blowers, are you? And they're like, yeah, that's us. Wait a minute, Nick from Medford? We're in Medford. You wouldn't be Nick from Medford from Mowers and Blowers, would you? Like, that's me. Incredible. Anyway, I got them to take a picture together. Here it is. So, isn't that funny? It's funny, man. It's a small world, really. Anyway, so I wanted to show you guys. This is what it looks like. It's got the separate primer bulb here. Primer bulb looks okay. Hasn't split yet, but it feels like it might. So if you go underneath here, you'll see. And then it goes into this nipple. And there's another hole right there for the return line. What I meant by the fuel filter being integrated is that it's sitting right there, see? It's not on a line just floating around. It's right there. Which is kind of cool. So what I have to do is I have to add a line in there, stuff it in there, and that goes to the return. Looks like I'll have to remove this. It's a torque screw on both sides to remove the cover, and we'll have a better look. It's actually 4 torque screws right there. So this choke lever goes in the middle. The notch allows you to remove it. So I can see the fuel lines here. This one, look, it's so brittle. Just comes right off. Look at that. Came out of where did it come out of? Right here. And there's one right here. How brittle that is. Actually, I don't know how this thing goes, you know. This primer bulb, I believe, only has one hole. So I would think that a line goes into there, comes out of here. I'll have to try to figure it out. But I'm going to run the lines first. I just measured all the lines. This is too thick. This is way too thick. This is too thin. So this looks like it's right. This will fit in the diameter for the return line right there. Looks like it's pretty difficult to get it in there. So what you want to do is you want to cut this in an angle so it looks like a spike. So you can easily get it in there. And you pull it out with some forceps. And I don't really mean forceps, I mean some pliers that look like forceps. Like these, right? Take it like this. Stuff it in that hole. I know, my head's blocking, I'm sorry. Alright, so I just got that in a little bit. I think I could sort of see it here. Grab it. And there it is. Whoa! So that just needs to stick out of that hole a little bit. It doesn't have to be, you know, pulled all the way. Just needs to stick out a little bit to get the fuel back in there again. So I just got to figure out where this part goes, you know. I don't think it goes back. It goes onto this one here. I don't know. So while it didn't look like it to me, I was experimenting by just pushing it, right? And putting my finger here. There's 2 outputs, or one's an input, one's an output. I was pushing it to see which one was pushing out air and which one was sucking air, right? There's one here and there's one there, right? And I didn't feel either. So then I look carefully, and look at this. There you go. The primer bulb is busted. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to get this entire assembly off and replace this primer bulb. I hope I have some in stock. So this pops out just like that from these 2 clips here. See? So you can't really change this primer bulb. You have to just replace this whole assembly. Because this thing here is glued on there, whatever, from the factory. You can't get it loose. I've tried taking this apart before and it just breaks. So I have to find one of these things. I don't know if I have one of these things. So I don't have one of those things. I have one of these things. The kind where you put screws in them, you know. But the bottom is essentially the same, you know. So I suppose I could just cut these 2 sides here, or maybe leave one side so it fits, and then run a small little screw right through there and it'll hold. That's probably what I'll do. So I just did some research. You push it in and you let go, the shorter one sucks. See? So if this sucks, it needs to suck fuel. This pushes out. So I'm going to attach this short one with a line that goes to the gas tank that has the filter on it. This one pushes out the fuel and into the carburetor. That's what I'm thinking. As you can see, I cut this one end off, so now it'll go in, and I could drive a little small screw right into the frame to hold it. Cut length to run the return line through this hole over here. I did it a little bit longer just in case I needed it. This goes right there. Let me cut this straight. I'm not going to take the carburetor out yet. I don't know if it needs cleaning. It's probably been sitting a long time, so it probably does. But if this works, the cover's off anyway, you know. So this is supposed to be the exit. And it goes right back into the tank again. This one right here sucks the gas from in here, the gas tank, pushes out through there. So I'm going to run one from this line into the hole, back out here. There's a better angle for you guys to see. Got my line here cut at an angle. I'm going to stuff it through this hole here, and you can see it. Pull it out. I hate working on these things because even though my hands are small, I mean, can't imagine guys with big hands how you're gonna, you know, I mean, it's really tough to get into areas and stuff. It's a pain. I hate it. But if you got something that might be worth doing, do it. Just don't like doing it, that's all. Alright, so now this line, pull it to length, and this is supposed to loop around and go into here. I want to make sure I have enough line, so I don't want to cut it too short, otherwise you waste it, you know? That's about right. Just eyeball it. Nice and straight. Stuff this back through here again. And attach this to the long input that pushes air out. So I think that's it. So look. Seems to be pretty cool. So now the true test is I'll just put some gas in here and see. So 2-cycle gas with a little bit of 2-cycle oil mix. For a tank this small, I just want a light hue, you know? So like that. That's it. That much. Put some gas in there, mix it. Hope it doesn't leak. Oh, son of a gun. Because it's on an incline, that's why. I see some major leakage here. Major leakage. I don't know where the leakage is coming from. Son of a gun. It's a lot of gas. This may turn out to be a terrible idea. I put it on an incline so it doesn't leak anymore. I gotta try to find that leak. So it appears that this little nipple that's attached to the fuel filter, it was loose. And it doesn't seat right over here, you know? I think what I'm going to do is, I mean, I just pushed it in a little, twisted it, and it stopped for the most part. I think what I'm going to do later is that I'm just going to take this fuel filter off, run the fuel line through the gas tank, and just drop the fuel filter inside. That's the way it should be anyway. But let's see. So look, let's see how this works here. I haven't secured this on here with a screw yet, but it's working. So if I push here, it should push air through this one and go there, right? It at the same time suck gas up here and then push that gas through the carburetor. Any excess fuel in the carburetor will go back out this way and back into the return line. That's the way it's supposed to be. Ooh, look at that. So it is. It's pushing gas through there. It's coming back out the return, see? In a cycle. So it's working. It's surprising because I usually always mess that up. I want to try to get most of the air out, which is what you want to do. But it looks like it's okay. Alright, so I'm just going to pull it a few times and see. We want full choke. This is on. Oh, this is the throttle. Give it some air. Not any signs of it starting. Ooh, it kind of wanted to. You heard that? Suck up my blanket. Hey, how about that, huh? How about it? That's weird. Oh. Wide open. All right. So, carburetor runs, but we need to adjust this air-fuel mixture, the high and low, because it only runs well, well, when it was wide open, it does run, but when you squeeze the trigger, it wants to bog down unless you do it slowly. So that we're going to try to adjust that a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to look for a screw to put this down. Looks like we got this going. I took a small drill bit, drilled a hole right in the corner there, stuck a flathead screw in there. Now it's secure. I'm going to remove these things here, which is the adjustment stopping guides. They put it there so that it won't move around, you know. We'll adjust it. But first, it's still leaking right there. So it's right here. I'm going to take this nozzle off that's attached to the fuel filter. Just pull that thing all the way through and throw a fuel filter on there and have it float around in there. So I took off those two caps and I was trying to adjust it, but it won't stay running for more than a few seconds. So I have a feeling the carburetor's dirty. I'll show you. And then it won't start unless you put it to choke again. You take it off the middle. See? And then it'll bog down. So I have a feeling the carburetor's dirty. I'm going to try and do a quick and dirty with one of these. I've never done a quick and dirty. I usually remove it all, but I have access to this plate right here, even though it's not easy to get to. But if I just take this plate off, I can see what's inside. Of course, the muffler is very hot. It's pretty clean just by looking at it. The part that you always want to concern yourself with. Yeah, it's very clean. I don't see any debris in there. I mean, there are some specks where that mesh part is. See? There are some parts there that are dirty. Brake parts cleaner from my friends over at Lucas Oil Products. Got myself. Just going to put that back. This is a Walboro. So I blew that out. The other side would be more difficult to do because there's 4 little screws for the diaphragm. So I don't think I'll do that unless I remove the whole carburetor, you know? So let's just see what happens. Choke. Heart attack. I decided why not, let me do a quick and dirty and see if I can remove this plate too without too much trouble, and it wasn't that much trouble. So this is pretty clean too. Diaphragm feels pretty good too. See if I can pull this off without breaking it. There's some gum here, see? Kind of red thing. It's its stabilizer. Needle moves freely. Doesn't look too bad. Boy, oh boy, look at that. Cleaning the diaphragm. So I haven't been able to get it to start anymore. I mean, it starts and runs for like 5 seconds and then it stops again. I can't figure it out. So I figured I'd clean up the these blades. That's all the crap that was on it. This thing looks like it's kind of bent, doesn't it? Good. Took the spark plug out. It's kind of oily. So I've been trying to start this mother for a long time. I even took the spark plug out and changed the spark plug to another one. Still didn't work. And I did check and there was spark. But I think when I put it upside down, it flooded everything. When I just pulled it, tons of gas came out of the muffler. I mean, tons of gas. It's pouring out of the muffler, man. I believe this thing might have internal problems. I'm just going to put the cover back on and forget about it. I quit. I've been working on this damn thing for like 2 hours. And while it started up a few times, it doesn't run for more than 5 or 6 seconds, you know. And I'm about to have a heart attack by pulling this thing about 100 times. Yep. You know, sometimes you fail, you know. I've done all I could with this thing and I just don't understand it. But you know, sometimes when I walk away from it and then come back tomorrow and pull it, it'll start. We'll see what happens. But this is a Ryobi 410R 31cc Rototiller Cultivator. I cleaned the carburetor, changed the fuel lines, replaced the float, or the fuel filter. Started it and ran for a little while, adjusted the screws, but it never ran long enough for me to be able to get the right setting on the fuel mixture, you know what I'm saying? And then checked out the spark plug, get spark and everything. Seems like it's all flooded now. So I think there might be more internal problems that is causing the gas to just pour out of the muffler, you know? Anyway, that's it. This is a fail. I have failed to get this running. I'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to take the muffler off. Just check out the spark arrestor. nothing in the muffler. There's not even a spark arrestor. You can see the piston okay. Let me rotate it so you guys can see. There be the piston. It looks okay, but look at all the gas. There shouldn't be that kind of leakage going on. So I think maybe the rings are bad. What do you think? Tons of gas in there. Tons. Try to pour some out. Nothing I could see that's out of place. I'm just a little stumped, but maybe a sticky valve or something stuck open or something. You know, otherwise, how's all that gas pouring in there? Anyway, I don't know what to do with this, but this is a fail. See you guys later. Hey guys, support my channel. Buy a sticker. Also, follow me on Instagram at Mowers Blowers. Check out my website, mowersblowers.com. See you guys on my next project. Have a great day. Hey guys, Boba and I want to thank you for all the support of Mowers and Blowers. If you'd like, make a short video clip like these, and I'll put it as an outro in my future videos.
See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.